Okay, for this session, we will discuss about receivables. When you say receivables, these are the amounts that other parties owed to the reporting entity. No? This can be either current or non-current depending on the maturity or the collectibility of these receivables. Now, as to classification or type of account, meron tayong tatlong receivables. The first one is the accounts receivables. Second, notes receivable, and the third one are loan receivables. So under accounts receivable, these are usually credit sales that are not supported by a note. Ito yung mga utang ng mga customers natin usually, di ba? Dito natin sila ni-record sa accounts receivable. And one accounting problem that we have, or what we have to discuss about accounts receivable, is the measurement basis po ng mga accounts receivable. Under measurement basis, kailangan initially we have to record them at face amount. When you say face amount, ano ba yun? Face amount, usually invoice price yan, no? Kung magkano mo in-invoice, kung magkano mo binil yung amount dun sa, or yung service or yung goods na nabenta mo or na-render mo dun sa customer mo, no? When you say invoice price po, na-consider na po dito yung ating trade discount. Diba? Minsan makakakita ka ng catalog price or list price, and then meron tayong trade discount. Kapag sinabi mong invoice price, naka-deduct na yung trade discount. Okay? So when you encounter a problem with list price, invoice price, and trade discount, kailangan alam nyo na kapag invoice price, ito na yung na-bill nyo. Okay? Then subsequently, after the initial recognition, or usually at year-end, we need to restate the accounts receivable at its NRV, or net realizable value. But how do we compute for the net realizable value? Okay? So to get that, we have to get our initial measurement, and then deduct any sales return and allowances, any sales discounts, and our bad debts expense. Okay? So, speaking of bad debts expense, another problem or accounting problem that we have to tackle under accounts receivable is the accounting for bad debts. Under accounting for bad debts, we have two methods. The first one is the direct write-off method. Under this method, we recognize bad debts expense only when the accounts are considered worthless or uncollectible. Okay? And the second one is the allowance method. And this method naman, or under this method, we recognize bad debts when the accounts are doubtful of collection. So, not necessarily uncollectible, no? Kaya allowance method siya. And then, between the two methods, yung allowance method is more favored by the generally accepted accounting principles. Bakit daw? Because it is believed to conform with the matching principle, no? So, allowance method. Okay. Aside from the accounting method for bad debts, kailangan din natin itackle yung methods used in estimating bad debts. Under the methods used in estimating bad debts, we have two, yung income statement method and the balance statement methods, no? Under income statement method, isa lang yan, yung percentage of sales method. Dito po, we have to identify a certain percentage that we will multiply by our sales, or credit sales, or net credit sales, whichever is applicable, no? Yung percentage na to is based on historical facts or experiences, no? And then whatever we compute amount will be the amount of bad debts expense. So ito yung expense natin. Okay? Pagdating naman sa balance sheet methods, we have two. The first one is the aging of receivables, and the second one is the percentage of receivables. under aging of receivables, in this method, we classify the outstanding invoices or outstanding accounts into different age brackets. So like yung kunin natin yung 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, and so on and so forth. And then after we classify them based on the age brackets or the number of days outstanding, we have to, for each age bracket, we have to identify percentage of uncollectibility that we have to that we will multiply in the age brackets to get the allowance required. Okay? On the other hand, in using percentage of receivables naman, we do not have to classify the receivables into brackets. Ang kailangan lang dito is the ending balance of the receivables, and then multiply natin dun sa percentage of uncollectibility that is pre-identified, no? And then the amount that we will get is our required allowance balance. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ito na yung ending balance of our allowance for bad debts expense. So ibig sabihin, if we have a beginning credit balance under allowance for bad debts expense, we have to deduct that amount to this computed amount para makuha natin kung ano yung amount of bad debt expense natin as adjustment. Okay? Note, under accounts receivable, there will be instances that you will encounter credit balances on customer subsidiary ledgers. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, imbis na ikaw yung may marireceive, parang ikaw pa yung kailangan niya bayaran dun sa customer na yun. Paano nangyayari yun? That happens when, halimbawa, the customer has overpaid the amounts from you. Or, kaya naman, nagkaroon ka ng credit note related to a paid invoice or credit note in expense of the outstanding invoice, no? Mga ganong bagay. How do we account for customer accounts with credit balances? Ito is same accounting principle with bank overdrafts. So, ang gagawin natin, instead of offsetting the credit balance in the balance of accounts receivable natin, we have to separately record them as a current liability, which is recorded under advances from customers or due to customers, no? So, wag natin i-offset dun sa accounts receivable. Alright?